Marcus retired at 63 with $2.1 million in his 401k. By 64, he had $340 left. He never made a single bad investment decision. And the people who took his money, they were completely within the law. What Marcus didn't know was that buried on page 47 of his retirement plan agreement, a document he signed back in 2019, was a single paragraph, 11 lines. That paragraph had been quietly working against him for 31 years. And nobody, not his advisor, not his HR manager, not the fund itself, nobody told him it was there. Marcus was an electrical engineer from Columbus, Ohio. Not rich, not reckless, the kind of man who showed up early, who planned everything, who actually read the fine print, or at least thought he did. At 32, his HR manager sat him down and told him the smartest thing he could do for his future was start a 401k immediately. So he did, 15% of every single paycheck, every month, for 31 years. He never missed once. His colleagues spent their raises. Marcus saved his. His friends bought new cars every 3 years. Marcus kept his 2009 Honda until the wheels practically begged him to stop. He did everything the right way. And that is exactly what makes this story different from every financial mistake you've heard before. By 2019, Marcus had $890,000 sitting in that account. Then the market did what markets do when you're patient. By 2023, $2.1 million. He called his wife from the driveway because he couldn't wait to get inside the house. She cried when she saw the statement. They started talking about Florida. Nothing extravagant, just a small place near the water somewhere. Somewhere warm. Somewhere they'd earned. Marcus started sleeping differently. That specific kind of sleep where nothing is chasing you anymore. He'd look at his phone in the morning and feel something he hadn't felt since his 20s. Like the math was finally on his side. He thought the hard part was over. He was wrong. But here's what nobody tells you about the hard part. It doesn't arrive like a storm. It arrives like a bill. Quiet. Official. Expected by everyone except the person receiving it. See, Marcus had been making one assumption for 31 years. The same assumption most people in this country make without even realizing it. He assumed a 401k was a savings account. It isn't. A 401k is a promise. And promises, especially financial ones, have conditions buried inside them. The $2.1 million sitting in Marcus's account wasn't really $2.1 million. It was $2.1 million, minus whatever the fund was legally allowed to take. Every year, quietly, without a phone call, without a reminder, without anyone sitting him down the way his HR manager did back when he was 32. And the exact amount they were allowed to take was written on page 47. When Marcus first noticed something was off in early 2024, he did exactly what a rational, careful man would do. He called his financial advisor. His advisor told him the fees were standard industry practice. Nothing unusual, nothing to worry about. He called a second advisor, same answer. He called the fund directly. They mailed him a 94-page document explaining that everything, every single deduction, had been properly disclosed at the time of signing. So Marcus did what most people do when the system looks them in the eye and tells them they're wrong. He trusted the system, because he trusted it for 31 years. And for 31 years, it had worked. Now here's where most people stop paying attention. Don't. Because what happened next isn't just Marcus's story. It's the story of every person who ever signed a document they didn't fully understand because someone they trusted handed them a pen. That wasn't stupidity. That was loyalty. And loyalty, quiet, unquestioning loyalty, is exactly what that system was built to count on. January 2025. Marcus makes his first official retirement withdrawal. Based on everything in his account, he was expecting around $6,800 a month. The transfer came through at $4,100. He called. They explained the fees. Standard. Legal. Disclosed. He sat down at his kitchen table and did the math himself. Then he sat very still for a long time. He hadn't lost $200,000. He hadn't lost $600,000. At the stated management fee, compounded annually, across 31 years of contributions, Marcus had lost $1,760,000. Legally, quietly, with his full knowledge, because it was disclosed. On page 47 of a document he signed in 2019, the Florida property didn't happen. His wife went back to work at 61. Marcus still has that retirement statement saved on his phone, not to look at the number, but to remind himself what happens when you trust something completely without ever fully understanding it. People hear 1.76 million and they think about money, but that's not what it cost him. What it actually cost him was the retirement his wife deserved after 31 years of standing beside him through every long shift and every missed weekend and every holiday worked. It was the decade they cannot get back. It was the look on her face the morning she got dressed for a job she thought she'd never have to go back to. It was the silence at dinner. That wasn't there before. The people who came out of the 401k system intact didn't avoid it. They understood it. Every retirement agreement you have ever signed has a page 47. The question was never whether the fees existed. The question was whether you understood exactly what they were before you handed over 31 years of your life. Marcus knew everything about how to save money. He just never learned how to read the document that controlled it. That's not a financial mistake. That's a literacy problem. And literacy is free.